Dr. Jonathan Osho. He's a political analyst on the development within the New Patriotic Party. Doc, good evening. Thank you very much for your time. Already, we know 3 individuals who have declared their intent to contest the party's primaries: Dr. Bawumia, Kennedy Japan, and Dr. Brian Echampong. Already, the series of endorsements heads towards one side. That's the camp of Dr. Bawumia. Should the other camps be worried that these endorsements are just going to one particular camp?
Well, it is natural that they will have to be worried because it's like it's derailing your chances of winning against that particular individual, that candidate. And it's just unfortunate that you have a bunch of adults who will visit a particular individual and then turn around and go and visit another person. It is their political right. But it is also my view that such political prostitution perpetrated by, a bunch of people who do not have scruples, for me, is something undesirable in politics. Their justification is that, well, they did not endorse Mr. Kennedy Japan, they only went to eat and wine. And that is it. And of course, in the case of Dr. Bawumia, they came out there to endorse him. Well, I don't want to think that it is about the highest bidder winning the whole contest, so to speak. But of course, if Sir John is any person to cite, then you ought to be very careful when it comes to what we call the delegate. You need to fear a delegate because they can undo you. And so we were in this country where so many thieves, important individuals in this country endorsing Dr. Bawumia, praising the former president here and there. What did we see? We saw almost a 2 million vote difference or 2 million vote difference. And so some of these things, for the optics, of course, it's supposed to put fear in your main opponent. But that being said, it tells you that, well, as opponent of that particular individual, all we have to do is to up our game and ensure that for the optics, we also do the things that we know to our benefit. That is it. Other than that, I see these people as a bunch of people without principle.
They have come out to explain that in the instance of Kennedy Japan, it was Kennedy who invited them. But this time around, on the side of Dr. Bawumia, they decided to go in there. And so for them, there's a clear distinction between the two.
So in their mind, they are telling us that they picked their own vehicles, paid for the fuel, and if they are in a car from different parts of the country, they are going to lodge in hotels, and nobody is going to bear the cost. It is going to be borne by they themselves. In politics, I doubt. There are certain things that go on that are behind the scenes. And I think that in as much as they have the right to do so, if I were them, we wouldn't have honored the invitation of Mr. Kennedy Japan in the first place if they knew that Dr. Bawumia was the person that they are going to endorse. Because with this particular, seismic shift, what this means is that tomorrow, should Kennedy Japan win, if you have someone who is politically vindictive, he's going to, sidestep all of these people. He doesn't care what will happen to his campaign. And we need to do politics of principle. If it is Dr. Bawumia, go all out and endorse him, do whatever. Besides, there's too much indiscipline within the NPP. The national executive do not have the wherewithal to hold the center. And that is the more reason why here and there you have people throwing tantrums. And I believe that is the more reason why they wanted to conduct, this early national elections, so to speak, to elect a presidential candidate. So that once you have your leader, then everybody will fall in line. And then discipline along the line will come up, because if you are not voted for, whatever tantrums you put in the public domain will just be hitting a snack, and that is it. That is the only way I presume, might have motivated the party to decide for an early, elections for the presidential candidate. And
was that decision a good one? Was it a good idea in the first place?
It would have been a good idea if they were going to conduct the elections from the bottom up. But the bottom up, the time is not due. So they are saying that per their constitution, NEC has the mandate to tinker, as it were, with opportunities like this and take a decision based upon the decisions of the time. And that is what they have done. But as to whether it will inure to the benefits of the party going forward, only time will tell.
Let's talk about the political party itself. The party has come out to say that electing a flag bearer early will, first of all, reduce the acrimony within the party, because they believe that it's always the presidential primaries that brings about the disunity in the party heading into an election. And so electing that one early enough will help, reduce the tension, will bring everybody on board and ensure that the party is united heading into the election of 2028.
Yeah, of course. So they are curing a particular problem, which I agree with them. But the same problem we are trying to cure will create another problem, because there is structural deficiency in using an old register to elect new officer. Using old delegate to elect new officer is structurally deficient. But they are curing a certain problem, which I agree with them. So only time will tell if that particular design or architecture will inure to the benefit of the party. I foresee a situation where if Dr. Bawumia should win, everybody else from the branch to whatever level will want to align themselves to him. And he himself could become a democratic terrorist or democratic autocracy. There could be democratic autocracy in the sense that it is just going to be one leader that everybody will have to align to. The idea of disagreement or divergent views will be limited. So that is something that they will have to think about, because it will reduce democratic competitiveness. And that does not augur well for a liberal democracy, liberal Democrats, so to speak, in terms of the NPP. And they will have to, think about some of these things. As I said, I agree with them trying to cure a problem. There is something else that could also emanate from this particular procedure or, methodology. It could reduce the amount of money that they expend within the political space in terms of the elections from the bottom to the top. Because once the head is elected, anybody else from the branch and other things, you have to organize your own resources and get yourself elected. And so there could easily be some kind of apathy against them. So you have two positives, you are going to have other negatives. Thank you.
Doc, thank you very much. Dr. Jonathan Oche, he is a political analyst and a senior lecturer at the University of Cape Coast. This is Eyewitness News.